Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, this is one of the more anticipated games that was released in an already pretty crowded year of anticipated games. And it takes place after the events of the first one, obviously, and the Miles Morales video game, where it's, for one thing that I thought was really cool, is you play as both Miles and Peter in this game. So they're both co-Spider-Men, if you will, tackling the city, trying to stop crime, and do spider stuff together when a big threat comes into town, which is Kraven. And so while you're trying to stop that, you also have Peter's best friend Harry returns after being absent from the previous game, and he is entangled with this little symbiote, if you don't know who that is. And so with that, craziness will ensue. Now, this, like I said, this was a really hyped game for a lot of people going in because of, for one, the first two games, especially the first Spider-Man game, was terrific in a lot of ways with its gameplay, its story, and how it portrayed the characters. And you have a lot of that great stuff here. Now, before I really dive into this, because I might dive into semi-spoilers here since the game has been out for a good amount, but I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. This was a really great game all around, and you could actually see what I thought was cool is this was like a new thing I tried. I didn't know if I'm going to do this going forward with other games, but I actually put up a three-part series of my reactions playing the story of this game. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, please definitely do that. But this game was a whole lot of fun, and I really dug the way it portrayed its characters and story, because the main thing that everyone was hyped for was, of course, Venom. Like, Kraven, he was a big focus and all the marketing and stuff, but I think, like a lot of people, I was really hyped to see how they would portray Venom, because it's argued that we haven't really got a great Venom in, live action or video game media before. The only instances I can think of being the Venom movies with Tom Hardy, which are overly hated. I enjoyed them personally as guilty pleasures, but I know that they aren't perfect movies. And of course, Spider-Man 3, which meme-wise is excellent, but movie-wise it's not horrible, but there's a lot of issues with the movie. And so seeing this game be able to really flesh out the arc of Venom, and it's really similar in a lot of ways to Spider-Man 3 because of one of its weaknesses that still is pretty much the same consistently is large, sound waves, basically loud noises. That's a main thing. And how it came to Earth is pretty similar. It basically came from a meteorite or something. It came from the sky. So there isn't really that much lore explored about how Venom got there. But I was just really intrigued in how, it got its way into the story, and it felt like they planted the seeds near the beginning with how the game starts, with Harry and his dad. And so it starts out where it's oh, what's going to happen there? It wasn't just thrown in unexpectedly. So how it was integrated into the story was really good, and you could really say that there's multiple plot points in this game that kind of wove together really well. For example, you have the initial main threat of Kraven, who is capturing all these villains from the previous games and all, but what he's doing with them is not what you would think. And, he's looking for a final hunt for what's going on with his character, which I thought was really interesting. And so you have, one of the people that was kidnapped was Martin Lee, who, had a direct impact in killing Miles' dad in the first game. And so that's basically Miles' main arc is, try to stop Lee and fight him with, what happened with his dad and stuff. So that whole thing was really solid, but it kind of takes a back seat to, the main story of Peter, with his friend Harry again, and also getting possessed basically by the symbiote and slowly becoming, kind of evil in how he is and stuff. And that's what factors into one of the Mary Jane missions. Now, Mary Jane missions from the first game were pretty divisive amongst fans. Like, a lot of people were not that much of a fan of them, and they didn't, appreciate them. I thought they weren't horrible, and I was fine with them, but I have to agree. Like, here in this game, the Mary Jane missions are fantastic, especially that one with Symbiote Peter. Holy crap. I predicted it from the one shot in the trailer, and I was spot on because that mission was great. And that's another thing too, is that they really took to heart her missions. They gave her, a backstory from the Miles game when her and Peter weren't, around because during that, game. And it was pretty cool that they actually gave her, like, okay, she got some training from Sable and stuff like that. She has like a stun gun to help, her fight enemies in the combat and all. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And so it made the combat much more fun and more, willing to play through. And I thought that was really cool. And, seeing a lot of the fun stuff they do with, Venom in this game, and a lot of the boss fights I thought were really great. Lizard, as you saw in the marketings in the game, Venom. And, of course, I will have to say, since we're diving in with Venom, there was other stuff with Venom, like Scream. That whole sequence was crazy, and definitely I was not expecting it at all. It came out of nowhere, and it was great. And also with, a side mission with the Flame where you find out at the end of that the guy said Carnage, and then you find out his name, Cletus Cassidy, and you're like, whoa. So there's a lot of fun stuff there, but with all my hyping up how fun the story was and how good the gameplay is and how it looks and all, there are a couple of minor issues I have with the game. And one of them is a lot of their side missions are kind of garbage. A lot of them, which is fine. Not every side mission and side quest thing has to be great, but a lot of them are just kind of tedious to get through and all. There's this one where you have the Brooklyn Visions, where you have to help people on certain stuff, which is cool and all, but it kind of felt similar to the, the Friendly Spider-Man app type of mission. So it was kind of like a reskin of that, but just helping people around school. And you're thinking, Spider-Man could be helping people with crimes and all. Why are you helping this person go on a date with their why? Stuff like that was just kind of stupid. And then you have the traditional collectible type stuff, going around collecting the spider bots and all, which that whole thing, again, I mean, it was all right, but it's just, there's some stuff like that was kind of like, all right. I mean, the gameplay really is identical to the other two games, which a lot of people gave a critique on, but my saying is, if it isn't broke, I mean, why change it that much? I mean, there's some different stuff in there. The abilities with, the symbiote type powers for Spider-Man's, suits and all is really cool. So there's new stuff in there to make it a bit more fresh with the combat. But I can understand if people are getting, this is too repetitive and all. I personally didn't have that much issue, but once I, did everything in the game, I don't really have the need to go back. So I guess maybe that argument does stand, I will have to say. I was also mention how they did expand the map a bit. They added another chunk of, New York and stuff. So I thought that was cool to give you a bit more to explore. And also the score and especially some of the emotional beats in the story was great. But basically my point is that the strong point of the game, as it should be, is the story and its characters. On top of that, you have a really good score, good setups and all for potential future installments or DLCs or whatever they plan on doing. And overall, I just had a great time with this game. And I will be remiss if I didn't mention that there were a couple of little bugs here and there, but that's to be expected, but it wasn't too crazy. But I just thought I would just put that out there because I had some funny situations there. But again, this was a well-made game, a lot of good performances, and it looks great. The combat's fun. The upgrade system and all with customizing your abilities and stuff was really cool. And how each of the Spider-Man have different stuff, and you can even interact with them in the open world and help them on certain combat, crime missions and stuff. So a little bit of that was really cool. And I really did wish that you could play with a friend as the other Spider-Man, but maybe one day we'll get there with that. But with all that said, those are my all over the place thoughts on Marvel Spider-Man 2. Again, terrific game. I definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you love the Miles Morales game and Marvel Spider-Man. But thank you all so much for watching. It means so much to me. If you want to hit the bell to get notified of when I upload, that would be great. And hit the subscribe button. And comment down below, do you like this game? Did you check it out? Or are you interested? Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye!